It is so hot in England right now that I'm actually literally losing my mind. I was gonna film this like early in the morning before like the heat rush happened, but I ended up doing loads of other things. But anyway, here we are, and I'm going to do a video on my TBR pile. I have a lot of books just around me, so selecting which ones I want to read can become a very difficult task, but I've somehow done it for the month of August. Things are a little bit uncertain with some of them. I mean, I'm a mood reader. I don't really stick very strictly to books I pick out to read for the month. So it's kind of a loosely based off of what I want to get around to reading, or kind of what my main options are. But also I start third year way sooner than I would like to admit. And I'm ordering in my books on World of Books for the whole of third year, which will be a long list of books, to be honest. I don't even want to imagine how expensive that order is going to be. But I'm going to order them, and so I like to get ahead of my reading only slightly. I mean, I'm not going to be reading them, you know, way in advance, but closer to the time of when I start university, probably towards the end of August, I'm going to start selecting some of the books off of that list. So then I would be unable to read some of these, but nonetheless, I'm going to try to show you. I can't even like pick up how many there are. Let's slowly make our way through them. I don't have a particular order that I want to do this in, so I'm just going to do it entirely randomized. And the first one is Sarah Waters, The Paying Guests. I actually have a lot of Sarah Waters books. Ask me if I've read any of them. No, I haven't. But okay, there's a reason, because I in year 13 read an extract, year 12 actually, read an extract during our crime writing year of The Paying Guest by Sarah Waters, and I fell in love with the passage. The passage was not very long. I don't even think it was like 2 pages of work, but I loved it. I fell in love with the writing style, the elements of like crime, obviously, that I could pick up, non-traditional crime, and themes and stuff, and I really enjoyed it, and I've never forgotten it. That since then, every time I've seen Sarah Waters in a charity shop for less than like £4, I've brought the book, but I've never come across The Paying Guest, which is the original book that I've read the extract from, until a few months ago, just before I left uni. There was a church book sale in my uni town, and I stumbled across this, and I've never done a double take so hard and snatched it up so quickly, because I was like, I've been looking for this for 4 years, and it's finally in my hands. And it's quite a thick one, but in all honesty, I'm not really that intimidated. I don't know why. I think I have a deep feeling that I'm going to enjoy this a lot, and I'm going to enjoy her writing style. So I'm very excited to get to this. Apart from knowing that it's loosely crime based, I have no idea what it's about, but I'm excited to get to it and see. Okay, so the next 2 books, these ones, are also loosely based off of my A-level texts. We read The Atonement by Ian McEwan, and we were kind of looking at texts that surround that. So Northanger Abbey was a big one, because the actual, it's not like a prelude, but it was the first extract, I would say. In Atonement is from Northanger Abbey, Dear Miss Morland, and you read the whole letter. So I've read that, really enjoyed it. And so my teacher recommended me books kind of not like Atonement, but with a very similar vibe, a similar kind of atmosphere. And this is L.P. Hartley's The Go-Between and The Bees by Layleen Paul, I believe. These 2 books she recommended to me. This one I actually ordered off of World of Books, so it's still secondhand, but I didn't stumble across it in a charity shop. And this one I genuinely completely forgot about until I saw it in a charity shop not too long ago, and I was like, oh my god, my teacher recommended me that. And I am one of those students where if a teacher recommends me something, I will pick it up and eventually read it. And I normally actually contact the teacher back, whoever it was, and give like a mini review of it. So hopefully if I can't get to both of these, I'll be able to read one of them and send back a review of what I think of them, because I love Atonement. I think it's a brilliant piece of text and I trust what my English teachers have recommended to me, and these two were on there. So I'm very excited to get to them. I think they'll both be, if they're anything true to Atonement, they'll be very frustrating reads, but I love an unreliable narrator. I think it's a niche in literature that I find truly frustrating but wonderful if it's done well, and hopefully these are done well, and one of them will seal the deal for me. Look at my cat in the corner over there. She's so cute. I just got a new desk, and since I've been to uni, I've moved back, not back, but like I had the bigger room and my mum wanted the bigger room because she was like, you're gonna go to uni, like I want the big room, it's my house. I was like, fair enough. So I'm in the small room now, and unfortunately I had to sacrifice my desk because I didn't have enough room for it in here. But yesterday we impulsively went into the British Heart Foundation, the furniture version, and I stumbled across the most beautiful desk I've ever come across in my life, and it's my dream desk. Like I've known about this desk and seen it in a few Pinterest things, and oh my god, I fell in love with it. It's very Victorian-y, it folds back up, it's dark wood, it's just beautiful, and it's the dream. It's so practical, it's built beautifully. I researched the company that did it, and it's from the 1860s to the 1940s. The company made furniture between those eras, so I don't know which specifically era it's from, but it's just stunning and I love it. But anyways, that was not part of the video. The next book is Death and the Penguin by Andrei Kurkov, I believe. I know nothing about this. Again, I picked it up on a complete whim at the church book sale, where I also got the paying guests. And first of all, the cover just looks gorge. If the cover's nice, I'm picking it up. Don't judge a book by its cover, whatever, I do. And so this one I picked up because it just looks really good, but also I really thoroughly enjoy Russian literature, and this is Russian literature, so I'm very excited to kind of see what it's about. No one recommended this to me. I haven't seen it on social media anywhere, so I'm excited to get into it. I think sometimes when you go into a book completely blind, or a book that you've never come across, they tend to be pretty good books. So hopefully this is similar to that. This one, on the other hand, I have seen everywhere, and that is Shuggie Bain. And I just, you know what, I want to be included in the conversation when people talk about Shuggie Bain. I want to know what people are talking about. I want to see for myself what it is that everyone raves about. Do I think that this will be overrated? You know what, actually I don't. I really, really don't. I've read the premise and I've read the first few pages, and it seems pretty promising, to be completely honest. Again, I kind of know loosely what it's about, but not too much. I just heard that it's very beautifully written and it leaves an impact on you, which just sounds like a recipe for perfection, to be completely honest. And it won a few awards, I believe. I don't know, you know when you stumble across books on social media and you're just like, is that actually good? Like, are people just making it up? This one is not one of those. I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but I have a feeling that it won't be. I hate freshly washed hair, like I don't know what to do with it. Anyways, yeah, I'm excited for this one. I don't think it will be overrated, at least I hope. I hope it won't be. I've heard a lot about it, and I definitely want to prioritize it out of a few of these, just because I have seen so much on it and I've had it for a long time. and I want to say that I've been able to tick it off and I know what it's about and contribute to the conversations that people are having about it. What more can you want? Lord of the Rings, my beloved. I've read the first 2 books and I have the last one left, and I can just feel the devastation of having to finish a series. I haven't read a series in a really long time, and Lord of the Rings has been a wonderful experience. So I really don't want to finish it. It's going to be the end of a literal era. Like, these books have been truly wonderful. I love Tolkien's writing. I think Lord of the Rings is really interesting because he keeps in the quote-unquote like boring bits. Like, not really a spoiler alert, you kind of know it, but they kind of go on this long journey, right? Like, it's an epic fantasy. But it's like, how could you write 250 pages on just them traversing through like the woods? But somehow it works, and somehow I'm invested and I want to know what happens. And it's so dense and rich, but it's not in like it doesn't become dull. It's really fascinating, and all the characters I have a genuine interest in. And the last book was left on such a cliffhanger. Frodo was alive but taken by the enemy. And then, like, as soon as I read that, I then had to go straight onto my holiday. And I was like, I'm not going to carry this big fat brick of a book with me to Spain, do you know what I mean? Because it's just like heavy and annoying and I don't want to put it in my bag. But also I need to read immediately the next one. Anyway, and then I read Dune on holiday, and that was a whole different denseness, like fantasy denseness, to be honest. But then I had a little break from epics. But now I'm so ready to dive back in, and I am going to finish. This one I know for sure that I'm going to finish before university because I really want to, and I've really enjoyed it. It's just beautiful. It's so captivating. It always leaves it on a cliffhanger. The way that characters do things and their motivations is like really childish, but again very endearing, and I'm super duper into it. So I can't wait to finish this trilogy. But I'm also super sad because I don't want it to end. But then that means I can watch the films, and I'm very excited to see how the films are. Honestly, I'm so excited for it. I just finished The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, I'd say a week or 2 ago, and I loved it. Very devastating, very tragic, very dark undercurrent running beneath the novel. But I fell in love with Toni Morrison's writing style. I've read a lot of her essays for university, but that was the first book that I read by her, and I think it's also the first book she wrote. I loved it. Like, as much as it was super duper dark and disturbing and uncomfortable, I thoroughly enjoyed reading it so much. And I have so many other Toni Morrison books, but the next one that I want to read is Sula. I'm not necessarily like, I don't need to read Toni. You don't need to read Toni Morrison in publication order, but a lot of the books that I've put into publication order. I just think it makes the most amount of sense. I mean, it doesn't actually matter. You could read them however you want. They're all standalones. But the next one that I want to read is Sula. And again, I've heard some discourse on this online, not too much. Again, I don't really know what happens. I know some of the themes explored. And now I think Toni Morrison is one of those writers where I just think as soon as you see her in a shop or hear her name, your ears immediately perk up, because I think she's just brilliant, like an absolute brilliant writer. So I'm very excited to get to this, to be completely honest. I'm very intrigued. I personally love a romance book. Like, there, I said it, it's a guilty pleasure. I'm a sucker for a good romance book. Like, book that has yearning, characters that are morally grey, characters that are complex. When things get messy, I truly love it. But I recently read a book by Katie Ford called Love Letters, and it was a really nice change of tone in the kind of romances that I've read. Like there was no smut whatsoever. It was corny at times, it was kind of cringy, but it was really, I don't know, like it was really warming. It felt like a warm hug, and I really liked it. And the yearning was just like beautiful, and it was set around book lovers and academia and Ireland, and I really fell in love with it. And I actually have another book by her, Life Skills, which is another one of her romances, and I'm very excited to get to it. Just from the first book I read by her, it was just a really different, it's not like a different type of romance book, but it just isn't what social media categorizes as a romance book. I actually would love to do a video on romance and love and that kind of genre, because I don't think the romance is synonymous to love and love is synonymous to romance. I think in the book space they can be two entirely different things. But that's a whole other conversation to be had. Anyways, I read one of her books and I really liked the way she wrote it, and I have another one of her books to read. I don't really know that much of what it's about, but I do know that she's engaged to the wrong person, and then she starts a new career and has to figure her way out from there. So there seems to be a theme of books and texts that have been told and introduced to me by my English teachers. But listen, I am a nerd to the core of my being. Like, I love studying books, I love studying literature. As soon as an English teacher or a lecturer recommends to me a book or something that I like is inspired by another text, I will pick up that text. And in the church book sale, yet again, I found the Boccaccio, the Decameron by Boccaccio. He's an Italian medieval writer. I studied Middle English poetry in second year, and it was a really good module. I actually had such a good time with it. And when we were studying Chaucer, we were looking at Boccaccio for Chaucer's kind of inspiration for certain type of writing styles and structure, an epic kind of writing. And it did pique my interest at first, but it was one of those books where medieval text and Middle English writing is not really kind of my niche in particular in literature, so I was a bit skeptical. But then I saw it in the church book sale and I was like, it's only £1. Like, it's a beautiful edition. Like, I love the older editions, I just think they're gorgeous, and it's like super floppy and everything. So I'm very excited to kind of read it. I'm going to take my time with it because medieval texts can be very, what's the word, like very tedious, and just written at a slower pace. But at some point I do want to get to this. I don't think I'll get to it in August, but again, if I randomly have the urge to even just start it and maybe take it like bit by bit, I'm going to, because I surprisingly ended up really liking that module, and I think I'd be really interested to see the style and how he wrote and kind of why he was the inspiration for Chaucer. This selection is the last 3 books, and they're all non-fiction books. I have been getting more into my non-fiction since I read one recently, and it's got to be more into it, and I kind of realised I actually have a lot more non-fiction books than I would have realised. So these are the 3 non-fiction works that I want to get into. One is more history based and the other 2 are more philosophy. So this is The Silk Roads, A New History of the World. I mean, I'm going to read to you the blurb because I just find it fascinating. For centuries, fame and fortune were to be found in the West, in the new world of the Americas. Today is the East which calls out to those in search of riches and adventure. Sweeping right across Central Asia and deep into China and India, a region that once took centre stage is again rising to dominate global politics, commerce and culture. A major reassessment of world history, The Silk Roads is a dazzling exploration of the forces that have driven the rise and fall of empires, determined the flow of ideas and goods, and are now heralding a new dawn of international affairs. Perfect. Just what I want. Like, that sounds brilliant. I unfortunately didn't do history A-level, and because there were just other subjects that I was more fascinated in, and I couldn't do it as a degree. But in another world, I would have loved to have gone into history, because I really thoroughly enjoy history. I'm constantly watching video essays on different historical movements. I mean, studying literature also is heavily influenced by history and historical context. So I just want to be more educated in different parts of history, and I thought this would be a great start. Obviously, it's a big book, but again, I might just take it chapter by chapter and see how I get on. It sounds like a bit of me. I like history, so I think it'll be really good. And there's, I mean, not that it's really that particularly relevant, but there's photos like randomly throughout, and I don't know why, I really like that in non-fiction when it's accompanied by a photograph or a picture or like quote-unquote proof of something. Yeah, it adds a different dimension. And then the other two are also non-fiction, but they're philosophy. So I have The Prophet and Meditations. These are part of a set of like major philosophy works that I have up there on my bookshelf. And I don't know anything about them. I'm not like too into my philosophy. I know basic, if that, like basic concepts and kind of what certain theories and ideas are, but I haven't gone too in depth with them. So I thought these are short. I'm gonna regret saying that, aren't I? Like, these are short, but will probably take me a while. So I'm definitely going to spend a bit more time with them. Obviously, philosophy books and philosophical thinkings and ideas are structurally written in a different way, but also expressed differently than normal books. So I'm definitely going to take these slowly. I'm going to have a pen and paper next to me so I can, you know, take my time and actually process what it is that I'm reading. I think it's one of those things that I would have actually loved to have had a lecturer properly go through some of the things with me, but I'm going to try my best and see how I get on with them. I have heard great things, so it's just me trying to get a bit into philosophy, even though I'm not massively into philosophy. But yeah, that's basically I can't even lift them all up. Yeah, that's all the books that I want to read. I won't read all of these for the month of August, but it's a hopeful for me. It's stuff that is just, it sits on my bedside table there, and it's just random ones that I feel like picking out every now and then, or ones that I kind of want to prioritize. Again, my third year books will come in hopefully soon. I can order them, and I will have to pick some of them as well, but not going to read all these, but they're just kind of inspirations and August potentials, I think I'd say instead. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time.